Right, welcome ladies and gents. AVP, do you want to see a return to Alien vs Predator? Well, Fede Alvarez, the director of Alien Romulus, has come out and basically revealed what he would do for an Alien vs Predator. I actually quite like how he goes about it. I think it's less contrived. I think it makes sense for fans. I think people would actually respond better to this than they did those other movies. Those other movies and that style of contrived narrative does have its place for sure, but yeah, I like this one a lot actually. I like his take here a lot. So we're going to take a look. Please do hit subscribe, turn those bell notifications on. But basically, Collider has the exclusive here because they did a screening of Alien Romulus, right? So that's why that's how they've got the exclusive. It was a Q&A. And let's just take a look. As a bit of a background, Dan Trachtenberg and Fede Alvarez have something impressive in common. Both filmmakers dropped fresh installments into sci-fi franchises in the past few years that helped bring fans back. I don't think it necessarily helped bring fans back. I think it helped broaden the appeal. I don't think it was the fans that were never massively on board. I think the fans have always generally been on board. I think it's, I could be wrong, but I think it's more so the mainstream public. So the former helmed the return of the Predator film series through its fifth installment in 2022's Prey. And as for the latter, he celebrated the mega success of 2024's beloved sci-fi horror flick Alien Romulus. Over the last 20 years, the two nearly indestructible creatures have collided twice, in the spine-chilling and adrenaline-pumping Alien vs Predator and Aliens vs Predator Requiem. So with the overflowing love for both Prey and Alien Romulus, the next obvious question is, will there be another Alien vs Predator crossover? Now this was actually put to one of their producers before, which I think we'll get to. I'll cover that briefly anyway because it's worthwhile discussing. But earlier this week, Collider hosted a special IMAX screening of Alien Romulus, which was followed by a Q&A session moderated by Stephen Weintraub, setting out to celebrate and bring attention to the film's Academy Award nomination for Best Visual Effects. The panel included Alvarez, VFX supervisor Eric Barbara, and Weta VFX supervisor Dan Macarin. While nothing is set in stone, the Evil Dead director admitted that a sci-fi horror crossover with the two greats would be something he'd love to see in the future, telling the audiences, quote, I can't speak for Dan. At some point, once there's another Alien, and I know he's working on a sequel to Prey, one day if we feel like, yeah, that's what we cannot wait to see, I think that's a movie we could do. There's a few things I like about this. One, it sounds like he's kind of taking ownership of the Alien franchise a little bit, which I think is it's interesting. That's an interesting way of wording it. If we feel like, it's like, okay, have you been given the keys to the castle then? Respectively, both directors? Maybe. Dan Trachtenberg absolutely unequivocally, seemingly has been given the keys to the castle. He is now working on multiple stuff. Is Fede Alvarez? Is that what's happening here? I don't know. So this all sounds absolutely amazing, and it's certainly something that we would love to see. But if it happens, it sounds like it would be an incredibly unexpected way. Explaining how we'd like to go about an Alien vs Predator sequel, prequel, or offshoot installment, Alvarez said the following. And this is really smart. I like it. The way I would do it, most likely, if it could be done this way, it's harder to keep secrets online. The best AVP will be the one that you don't know is AVP until the other guy shows up. You think you're watching a Predator movie, and then they land in some place, and there are creatures, and effing hell, it's a xenomorph. That would get me, F yeah. You'd go crazy, or vice versa, you're in an alien movie, and then suddenly a mysterious creature is there, and you can hear that sound, and you see the cloak, and you go, is that an effing Predator? And then turns out it is. That would be the way to do it, don't you think? Once you put it in the title, it's like, spoiler alert. I actually think that's really smart. Genuine, I think that's so smart. I think that's the best way to go. I've said there should be no more AVPs unless you're bringing... And Predator, I said this about Predator. Predator should be in the future. AVP should be in the future. All of these stuff should be in the future. Should be set in the Alien style timeline. That universe where things have progressed technologically speaking. I love this. I think this is the way to go. It really is. He's quite smart when he's like, secrets online, maybe not. A bit difficult. Yeah, I don't know. But this is the way to do it. It really is. Where there's a will, there's a way. So if this sounds like an impossible undertaking, Alvarez has already done some experience of hiding things from viewers. Case in point is the unexpected cameo of Ian Holm as Rook. While he agrees that it would be difficult to pull off such a feat for a potential crossover, Alvarez explained, quote, Rook in this movie was something that we kept as a secret until it was the last second. Most of you, hopefully, didn't know until you went in on opening night. Early on, this dude had said it's impossible. People will know. There will be screenings. But then the few screenings we did before the movie, I begged everybody, please do not ruin it for everybody else. Do not post Ian Holm being in the film. And he said, originally this film was going to be that. We started talking about this film when Ridley Scott was doing Covenant. That's when they started talking with Michael Schaefer, who was his right hand at the time. When I pitched this story, when they asked me what kind of movie I'd do, what I pitched at the time was, why don't we do it as a spin-off? We don't say Alien, we just put any random science fiction title. We show some kids and some planets somewhere. It was this whole thing. And then suddenly they walk into a room and there's an effing egg. Imagine that audience at South by Southwest finding out on opening night, 30 minutes into the movie, that actually you're watching an Alien movie. That was the original plan. I like Fede Alvarez and sort of, he wants to keep things secrets. And that's actually what they... similar to what they were doing with Prey. Like, oh yeah, watch Prey. I mean, obviously the trailer, you were like, oh yeah, this is clearly a Predator movie. But, that is the smart way to go about it. If you can, yeah, just show stuff, make people interested in the movie itself, not the creatures, the nostalgia, the history. Just get people interested in the story. If they bought in wholesale to the story and then they find out it's something else, that's amazing. That'd be brilliant. So there you go. I don't have much else to say, really. I like how he would approach an Alien versus Predator movie. I think that's very smart. What do you guys think, though? Would you like to see another one? Would you not? Do you think that that's a good approach to take or not? Drop your thoughts down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Especially returning viewers, please do hit subscribe. And I would say as well, guys, if you want to support further, I've got a Patreon. Check it out. It's the first link down below. I would appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye now.